Good Monday morning, everyone. Good morning, Jim. Good to see you again, folks. If you are worried about the election, we're 8 days away from it. We have the gentleman on today that's been fighting it, Steve Stern, a champion for election integrity. We'll go into a little bit more detail about him when we bring him up. So he's going to be on the first half of the show. We've got some highlights from Trump's historic rally in Madison Square Garden yesterday, along with a couple other videos. That plus so much more, Jim, on another episode of what?
Live on the Patriots Prayer Network studios. It's
Yes.
two guys.
It is.
One coop.
Wake the hell up, America. I am awake again. Good Monday morning. Thank you for starting your week with us. Jim, we want to get Steve on here real quick. So let's listen, hear from our sponsor, Grit Gear Apparel and Lock and Load Coffee. We'll be right back.
Grit is defined as firmness of character, unyielding courage in the face of hardship or danger. At Grit Gear Apparel, we honor all military, police, fire, public service, and patriotic Americans, both men and women regardless of color, creed, or religion. Our brand represents the love and freedom for our country, the heroism of all our men and women, and the principles of what this wonderful country was built on. Our goal is to regenerate the sense of patriotism and to spark the American pride within us, to stand together in the toughest times and become victorious, to preserve all our freedoms, to honor our flag, and to respect the men and women who have fought and died for us to have these freedoms. Wear our brand with pride, with a sense of patriotism, and as a statement for the love of our country. Whether you're military, public official, or civilian, our brand is for you. Together we stand as Americans.
That's right. Together we do stand as Americans. Remember that. That is gritgearapparel.com and lockandloadcoffee.com. When you go there, remember to use coupon code 2GUYS. You get 10% off your first order. Keep using that code so they know you heard it here.
Yep.
Veteran supported, America first, family owned and operated company. Rich and Sharon, they're amazing people, and they're doing the hard work and the patriotic work for our country. It's gritgearapparel.com, lock and load coffee.
Another small American-owned business.
That's right. Small business, American company. Let's get to this. Steve Stern, he's a passionate conservative leader who's dedicated his life to upholding the principles of election integrity and civic responsibility. He's not only created a platform for expressing patriotic fervor, but has also become a prominent voice in the conservative movement. He has worked alongside many prominent leaders in the conservative community, such as President Trump, Steve Bannon, General Flynn, Mike Lindell, many more, and joins our show today. As a dedicated patriot, Steve continues to inspire and mobilize conservatives across the nation, reinforcing the importance of active civic engagement and the preservation of America's democratic ideals. He hosts a weekly election integrity show, which reaches over 1 million viewers, and he's the CEO of the Flag Shirt, the largest provider of patriotic gear in the country. Let's bring him up, please. Jim. Mr. Stern, how are you, sir?
Good. I'm wearing my flag shirt, and I went to breakfast before I came on the show today. And a funny thing happened. A guy says to me, "Hey, that's a great looking shirt, and you're wearing a USA shirt. You must be a Trump guy." Well, I whipped out my card because I'm the vice chair of the Broward Republican Executive Committee, and I said, "Would you like to be involved?" And he said, "Well, how do you do that?" So we sat down a little bit. I bought him a cup of coffee, and he said, "Well, maybe I'm going to get involved, and it's very important." And so my involvement is much more than being the vice chair of the Broward Republican Executive Committee, because I do what I say and I say what I do. So I ask people to become poll watchers and poll workers, and I want to show you my little badge here because I got to get out after the show. And I'm a poll watcher.
Okay.
So if you want to become a poll watcher, we still need poll watchers. Go to Protect the Vote. See if you can see that. There you go.
Yep, sure can.
That's the RNC's way to do it. They'll train you quickly. We still need poll watchers in two important places. And, you know, it's been hard working with the RNC, but let me tell you, they've come to bat just recently. Probably would have been better before, but it wasn't. But we take what we get. So we need poll watchers in two important states, Michigan and Pennsylvania. I'm going to explain a little bit about that as we talk about all this stuff. So the three important places we need are Flint, Detroit, and Kalamazoo. We need them desperately, and here's why. The first thing is the Republican Party only got 50 slots in Detroit, and the Democrats got 1,500 slots.
Wow.
So the Republicans sued them, and we got more slots available. Now we need the people. The second place is I've worked 4 months in talking to people in Pennsylvania. We have a lot of good people, and we'll tell you about them. But I finally found a girl in Pennsylvania who actually knew what was going on in Philadelphia. Now, that was the area that I wanted to get in touch with, because here are the counties that are the most important that are going to be in this election. Let's see if we get this up there so you can see. The 8 states that are going to make a difference, we keep talking about them, is Georgia, Wisconsin, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Michigan, North Carolina, and Texas. Those are the 8 states. And of course, the most important ones being Pennsylvania, Michigan are the 2 most important ones right now. Although Arizona is very important, but Arizona, you never know what's going to happen. And we'll talk a little bit about that also. So Seth Kessel did this analysis, and he's helped us out quite a bit. And let's go back and find out how we got this election security thing going. So we're going to talk about 2 things today. We're going to talk about precinct strategy and election integrity. That's how it all got started. So here's our little deal on precinct strategy. What is precinct strategy? Dan Schultz wrote the book, and this is the book. You can get it at Amazon for $10. And you can go to www.precinctstrategy.com to see how to get involved in the Republican Party. What is the problem? The problem is that 4 years ago, when I started with Dan Schultz and Steve Bannon, there was 400,000 slots available all around the country, and there was 200,000 people that got involved. Today, there's 400,000 slots, and there's still 200,000 people, plus or minus. That is terrible. There's 60 million voters. So where are all the people? Why aren't they stepping up? Now, I will say this: they're stepping up in many different operations, and we're going to tell you about it. But we need people in the Republican Party to step up, because we have rhinos, we have establishment. They knock you out. Don't give up. You know what I'm saying? When I first got into the Republican Party 20 years ago, I'm going to tell you a story that you won't believe. I called for 3 months before somebody returned the call. Right? So here I'm calling for 3 months. I want to get involved 20 years ago. Then it took them 3 months to send me an application. It should have taken about 1 minute. Now that's 6 months for Stern. That could have been doing a lot of work. How many other people did that happen to? So then I get in, and I'm sitting for 2 meetings, because they have a meeting every month or maybe every other month. So I'm sitting there, not a person came up to talk to me. So finally I got up in the 3rd meeting. I went to the chairman. I said, "Madam Chairman, I'd like to get involved a little bit more. I'd like to be the membership chair. I'd like to take over the phone." She said, "Oh, that's terrific, because we don't have anybody doing it." I could see this was like a social club. And so I took over the phones. There was 186 messages, of which I answered everyone, apologized, told them the person got sick. Of course, they didn't get sick. They just didn't do it. But I got 35 new members. And what I did differently was every member that came on, I introduced them to people, because when I got in, nobody introduced me to anybody. And so, and also we gave them a package to know what they got to do to become a precinct committee man and a committee woman. So what do you do when you become that? So you attend meetings. That's the first thing. But the most important thing about a precinct committee man and committee woman is that you get candidates elected. And how do you do that? So we today are giving out voter guides. Here's the voter guide just for Broward County. on the vice chair. Look at the size of this thing.
Yeah,
So
no kidding.
we have more people running than ever before. And the only reason I got involved as the vice chair, was because I got the chairman involved, and he became a chairman after our chairman passed away. And he asked me to get involved because I do this nationally, and now I have to spend all this time locally, which takes away from the national. And also, I'm the head of fundraising because nobody really wanted to do it. So we've raised, we're going to tell today, over 310,000 in the last year since we took over, way more than anybody else ever did. Now, it takes a lot of time, let me tell you. We've run two that I've been in charge of deals where we had our fundraisers. One was at Trump International, which was a great event, and one was at the racetrack here. Both of those raised tons of money, and we're still raising it. And it took a lot of time because we don't have an executive committee person anymore that runs it because we got rid of them. They were getting 60,000, so we're saving the 60,000, and we put it into voter guys, and we put it into helping the candidates. So what else do you do as a committee man and committee woman? You sign up voters, you canvass neighborhoods, you do poll watching and poll working and phone calls. We also have clubs. So yesterday we started the first time, unfortunately, I couldn't get there. I had my son's birthday, but we started a club in Deerfield Beach, the first time ever. So you can see what you got to do. The problem is getting people involved. Everybody wants you to work, and they don't want to do it. And this is the problem in the United States. So let's go back. You see President Trump here with me. I know a lot of people they call me, how do we get in touch with President Trump? I'm going to tell you an easy way, but I want to read you a nice letter that I got for my 81st birthday. And people ask me, well, why do you do this? Well, on my 81st birthday, I said, hey, I've been doing this a long time. I'm probably going to get out of it here and let somebody else come in. Then I got this wonderful letter from the President of the United States. And this letter says, Dear Steve, we join you and your family in wishing you a happy 81st birthday. Our nation is strong because of hardworking patriots like you who believe in and defend the great American ideal of faith, family, community, and country first. Your commitment to excellence and dedication, exemplifying the American dream through ingenuity, hard work, principled leadership, is the foundation of your tremendous success and demonstrates the proud spirit of family-owned and operated business. As you celebrate this special day, we hope your heart is filled with knowing that you have experienced our country's greatest blessings, freedoms, the affection of your loved ones. Melania and I send our very best wishes for your continued health, happiness, and success. Happy birthday, and may God bless you and your family. Sincerely, Donald Trump.
Now, what an honor.
Say, well, that's
what an honor.
And I got to tell you that if you see this picture, President Trump answers a lot of people. I'm going to tell you, I was up in his office. That was the only time really I was up in his office. I've been in different occasions where I was with him in conferences, et cetera, et cetera. So up in his office, which is in Mar-a-Lago, and as you walk into the ballroom there, you go to the left and you go upstairs, and he has a rather small office. I would think it would be bigger, but it's smaller. He has about 8 secretaries. And what they do most of the time, really, believe it or not, is answering a lot of mail that comes in because President Trump answers mail. So if you want to a lot of people call me and say, hey, how do I get in touch with President Trump? Well, the easiest way is to send him a letter at Mar-a-Lago, very easy. And you'd be surprised. He answers a lot. I've got 3 or 4 returned from him. And he does do that. Now, of course, if you just have a letter, hi, President Trump, we wish you good luck, you may not get it.
Of course.
But if you ask something, you do. So during this meeting, which was 2 days before the last election, I went up there a specific reason. And actually, I got a meeting canceled 2 weeks before that. So I thought maybe they were never going to see me.
Sure.
But this particular meeting was in conjunction, actually, with an event that we're holding for President Trump for all he did for Israel. We presented him with an award. I worked on that for a month, and we had about 400 people there. It was an exciting event. And prior to that, around 4:30, I sat with him for about 45 minutes. And Liz Harrington, who got him to endorse precinct strategy, was with me. She flew in, and we got her into our event also. And so we had some conversation on numerous things. But one of the things that came out was he asked me what I thought about the 2024 election, what was going to happen. And I said to him, look, nothing really, I think, has changed from the 2020 and 2022 election. They're going to cheat and do all this stuff. Well, he said, look, I know you're doing a precinct strategy Zoom meeting. Why don't you do a Zoom meeting with the election integrity? I said, Mr. President, I don't really know a lot about election integrity. I hear a lot about it. He said, well, I'm sure you can do a good job. All right. So about 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, I started calling the election integrity people that people had given me. And we started our next one the week after. And I spent hours trying to get people involved because, just having one of these things and never doing it before for election integrity was difficult.
Yeah.
So we got about 150 people on it for the first time. And we were doing this for now 2 years. And about 4 months ago, a strange thing happened. Normally, I put this up. I put up my sign. I'm old school. I put up signs all the time where they let me throw shows because some of them, the producers don't tell me I can't do it. But and Newsmax was they threw me off because I put up a sign and I said that I was in that way. But you take what you get.
You're
so
right.
if you email me at stern1054@gmail.com. You can come on the next one, which is going to be this Wednesday. Now, so how did this expand from 200, 500 to 1 million?
Yeah.
Well, 6 months ago when I was on Steve Bannon in the morning, I did a different thing. Instead of putting the sign up, I put my email up, which you can see on the bottom of the screen, which I hadn't done on the show before. And we got 1,000 people signed up. It took me 4 hours to get them all links.
Really?
To get onto the meeting. And I said, wow, this is great. And then he said, before we ended the show, he said, Steve, I'm going to put this live on Getter and I'm going to put this live on Rumble. And I said, wow, that's thank you, Steve Bannon. You're a true patriot. Because I never even thought about that. So as an 83-year-old guy, you better think of something new every day. When he did that, we got 38,000 people because I called him and I saw it on Rumble, how many we got on there. And I said to myself, wow, why don't I do this? Why don't I call my friends? Let's start getting different people putting it on different channels. And we got a lot of the people to help us. So 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, we had the most ever on there. We had 70 podcasters streaming it along with Bannon and many, many other people. Well, 2 weeks ago, we had 80 podcasters putting it on along with Steve Bannon and others.
Yeah.
This week coming up, we're going to have 92 podcasters putting it live. And we also have moved all over the world. Some of our podcasters, one of them came to my office. He lives part of the time in London and part of the time in Miami. And he said the reason I'm in Miami and got a place to live was my girlfriend. Her father knew President Trump well, and I was up there with him. And we want to do stuff for him here. Yeah. So he got 22,000 live in London 2 weeks ago. And over the weekend, I spoke to 2 new people in Canada. So they're gonna put this live with 150,000 people in Canada on Wednesday. So if you want to come on, it's going to be this Wednesday at 1:50 Eastern time. Remember, it's Eastern time.
Yep.
And here's the different ways you can get on. One, you can go to the stern1054@gmail.com. Send me an email. I'll send you a link. You can get on. 2, you can go to sternamericannews.com or Stern American Rumble or sternamerican.com. And we will be live there. Naturally, you want to try to come live on the Zoom because you can put stuff in the chat to ask our people what's going on when they go. So who's going to be on this Wednesday coming up? We are happy to say that General Flynn will lead it off, and he will tell you what's going on all around the country. He's been going around. We're going to have Maureen Bannon talking about her father, who's getting out of jail tomorrow on Tuesday. We're going to have Catherine Engelbrecht, True to Vote.
Perfect. She's been on the show.
From New York. We're going to have Jenny Beth Martin from the Tea Party. We're going to have Greg Stenstrom. I want to talk a little bit about Greg.
A little bit. That's how we met, actually, was through Greg. So
correct. So Greg has got a lawsuit at the Supreme Court now, which has been accepted, and it's going to be reviewed on the 14th, talking about all the fraud that's going on. And I want to talk about another girl. I don't know if you had her on, but first, Michelle Swinick, who I worked with. SaveMyFreedom.us. She's in Arizona, and she has 3 lawsuits pending about all the steal. She was a judge in the 2022 election, and she saw what was going on, and you all saw how the machines back up stuff. And then we're going to talk about that. That's very important. What happened was, and Jovan Pulitzer was on one of our Zooms, he showed how the printers printed up for Maricopa County some of the ballots that were about 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch smaller than the other one. So they jammed. And when they jammed and you did another ballot, what would happen was they would put them into a black bag. Okay. Now all these ballots are going to black bag. And now they took that bag out, put it into the central counting thing, and 2 weeks later, they came back with those results.
Correct.
What happened to the chain of custody to all those ballots?
Yeah.
Who knows? So Michelle has been working feverishly.
Are they going to do it again this year that way, Steve? I mean, is that what Michelle is thinking as well?
If you go to her site, you will hear everything she's saying. I don't want to give you her information because she knows it. So again, if you want to become a poll watcher, poll worker, which is very important because the RNC work with me, I got 20,000 poll watchers over the period of time of being on that. You go to protectthevote.com, protectthevote.com, where we still need poll watchers. Now, the good news is we went from 100,000 poll watchers to 200,000. So that's a great extent. What's happening different in this election is that the Republican Party has done stuff in advance. If you remember, they did stuff after the election.
Yeah.
This time they're suing him now.
Proactive, finally.
Now, has the Republican Party, the Democratic Party found other ways to cheat? So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Illegal aliens voting. Now,
that's right.
You saw in Virginia where the judge made him put him back on.
Did.
Many states they're able to vote. Now, everybody says, well, how can that possibly be? Because we are no longer in a democratic area. We are in either socialism or communism because the government has regulated that illegal aliens can vote, which is against the law. And how did that happen? Well, you heard President Biden a year ago say, we're going to have a website where anybody with their last 4 digits of the Social Security number can vote. And that started the whole ball rolling. And you say, well, illegals don't have Social Security cards.
Sure they
don't.
Oh, yeah.
Sure they do. Sure they do.
So they come into the country, and the NGOs, a lot of people don't understand.
Correct.
NGOs, non-government organizations.
Yep.
They bring them into a church. The church takes the people, and they immediately get a driver's license. Once they get a driver's license, they can get a registration, and on the registration says, are you an American citizen? Well, most of them don't speak English, and they give them the English ones because the NGOs help them rather than give them the Spanish one where they understand. Correct. And they tell them, just check off this box. And if they say anything, just say you didn't know what you were checking off. That immediately gives them the access to register to vote. Now, they're not going to vote because the NGOs are going to get their ballot, and they're shipping those NGOs down to Texas. Let's say they came into Illinois or they came into New York. So now they do the same thing in another state. So they're able to vote twice. So we're going to have on a girl, Linda Sinkowitz, fightvoterfraud.org. I got her on Bannon. They put her on Bannon almost every week because she's telling people how to get people off the voter rolls one at a time and permanently get them off. She's also talking about how the illegals are getting them off. And anybody listening, if they get to me, she will give them, or go to fightvoterfraud.org, 500 people that voted twice or registered twice in your state or your county. Now think about this. How many people are registered twice? Now, some of them it's legal because, you may move in one county to another county and forget to tell them that you're off. But there's a lot of people that have a house, let's say in New York, and have another house in Vermont, and have a house in New Jersey or New York. They multiple houses. So how do you know whether they're voting in your state and the other state? So in New Hampshire, you can vote in New York, and the same day of voting, you can actually vote and register in New Hampshire without even showing an ID. All you
Holy smokes.
So there's many things that you got to find out. So Linda Sinkowitz will let you know with that. We're going to have Dan Schultz on, who is the founder of the precinctstrategy.com. He's going to talk about this and how to get on. And we're going to have a number of other people on. We've also had on our last one some very important people because I try to get a podcaster on every time. Melissa Redfield was on the last one.
Nice. And
she got us 28,000 people to view this. And, this is important. We had Wayne Rudon, who's on Real America Voice, on his show. And he got us 30,000 people to come on. We had Nilsa Alvarez. One of the most important things about voting and about what's going on is Nilsa is on Faith and Freedom. We have 20 million plus people who don't vote in this country, who are religious people for whatever reason. They don't want to vote.
That's
but
true.
The good news is we've got 1 million more now that are actually coming in. So I think that's very important. Another thing I want to say, we've had Johnny V on, Johnny Vieira.
I don't know him. So
Johnny has the app votifynow.org. I want everybody to get that app. It's free.
Okay.
And if you go to visit your local precinct where you're or wherever you're voting, and you see something that doesn't look right, you put it in, and it goes immediately to the authorities. And why that's important? Because this is what's happening in this election. There's a lot of things going on that you may not see, or a poll watcher may not see, or a poll worker may not see. Because when you go to vote, maybe the person next to you is doing something illegal. Boom, you get out. After that, you put it into that thing, and you do it right there. Another person that's helping us is yournews.com, Sam Anthony. Sam has put every podcaster on live that wants to go on live. So we'll get you hooked up. And the good thing is we're getting every podcaster connected with each other so that they can do it. Because George Soros is buying all the radio stations.
That's correct. Podcast is the only place you're going to be able to get the news like this, Steve.
Also, we had Sheriff Mack on. Sheriff Mack was telling us what the police and what the sheriffs are going to do to help us to do this. We had Dr. Rick Richards on. He's talking about what's happening in Georgia and how all the things are changing in Georgia. So you see Georgia is straightening out a little bit. Now so the only way to do that is to get people out to vote. So there's been a lot of stuff talking about people voting on election day, people voting early. My feeling is two things. One, vote either early or vote election day. Now, we have seen more people come out voting early than ever before.
We have,
In Florida, we had 173,000 people vote the first day of early voting. And that's important because President Trump is surging. And, we know he's going to win. The key is, are they going to let him win?
That's the key.
So that's something to think. So, as I do, I usually run out of stream. But I want to give you guys a chance to ask a couple of questions. I know I cover a lot of stuff. I do want to say one thing. I want to say before we go, I'm on Steve Bannon a lot. And when he went in jail, the minute he went in jail, the family had me make a shirt for him. Stand with Bannon. So if you go to standwithbannon.com, you could get your Bannon shirt. And he's coming out of jail tomorrow. And we hope that his voice, gets out and he gets people to vote a little bit more. Now, there's one other thing I want to tell you about what's happening on this election integrity. The Democrats have done what they call OCAVA, which is stands for Uniform Overseas Voting. And what they've done is they have said there's 9 million people that can vote that live out of the country. Well, that's not true because there's only 4.4 million that are overseas, and there's only 2.8 million that are eligible to vote. So they're looking for every way to gain votes. The good news is they got a bad candidate. We got a great one. So I think I've covered most of my bases. We do talk about a lot of people that have helped us. Tina Saline in California, Greg Dutton in Arizona, Dorothy Moon in Idaho. We have many, many people that are helping. Paul Bodini's helped me quite a bit. But one guy I want to talk about before I let you answer the question, because it's so important. I'm 83. We need to get the young people involved, and you see them coming out to vote. But we have a guy in Connecticut, Dominic Lombardi. He's the chairman, 20 years old, and inspiring other people to come out. He actually was lucky enough to have dinner with President Trump down at Mar-a-Lago. We got all the pictures. He's done a lot of work for us. He helped us. He's been at our fundraisers. He flew down at Trump International to be at one of our fundraisers. So that's pretty much, I've covered a lot of stuff. I'm running out of steam. Give me a couple of questions.
That's a lot in a short period of time. Steve, we appreciate it. Go on, Jim.
Tell the folks what is actually the required of a poll watcher. Some of us may know, but kind of tell those who don't quite know what a poll watcher, what is their function?
So, I went out the other day and where I voted, and I sat down with the poll watcher over there. Basically, you want to make sure that the people are putting their IDs up where they have to do it. Each state is different. So you're trained in each state. And Aubrey Campbell, who is coming on our Zoom meeting, will tell you, and she will give you where you can get trained exactly for being a poll watcher, because right now it's difficult for them to do that. But you're watching for irregularities. Let's say somebody comes in and they come in and they say, hey, you voted already. So no, I didn't vote already because how did it happen? So they have to report this. They report whatever they see. So it's multiple different things. They get trained on what they got to do. And again, in each state, it's different for what they do. And we have inspectors in Philadelphia rather than poll watchers and in some cases. And in different states, let's go to poll workers, because the poll workers are actually sitting there, counting the votes and doing different stuff. and they get a lot more training, and it's much more important because, in Philadelphia on the last election, remember they were forced outside.
Correct.
So these are why the Republican Party has way more attorneys this year, and they're in the exact place. I want to just point out that in Pennsylvania, because we're talking the two states that are most important, Allegheny, Erie, Berks, Philadelphia, Montgomery, and York. Those are the places that we got to step up, because those are the places where they hide things and they do stuff in the end. Next question.
They just thwarted like an election fraud in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, where there was a big election fraud scheme, and I think that had to do with the voter rolls. I'd have to look again and refresh my memory. That happened last week, and so we've always said that it's not who's voting, it's who's counting the vote, right? So we've always kind of paid attention to that.
Yeah, there's a lot more also. Here's the thing that happened in next to my county in Palm Beach County. There's different type of machines, and they have touch machines. We have where we just put them in. So what happened was you get a receipt, and the people were saying, well, wait a minute, I voted for Trump. Why did it come up for this person? Well, let's put it back in again and redo it. Now, we're telling everybody in Palm Beach, get a paper ballot. You know what I'm saying? Because they wanted to do touchscreen. You can get a paper ballot. Now, in some places, they're running out of paper ballots. So there's different ways that this fraud is going to happen. But the big fraud basically going to happen in the ballots that are going to be mailed in. Because we have a lot of areas where some of our people have already investigated this, where people don't live where they say. I mean, if you go to California, there's more illegals voting in California. How does somebody get 15 ballots in a place? And this happens. Same thing happening in Nevada and
in Missouri.
But the attorneys here are looking for all that, and we're going to find a lot of that stuff. So even though Trump says it could be too big to rig, it's never too big to rig when it comes to the Democrats. Not only that, there's down ballot candidates. You know what I'm saying?
That's the important part.
One of the big problems we haven't talked about. Yesterday, I finally heard him talking about the senators, where we got a good chance of picking up the Senate, but we haven't heard too much about the House.
Correct.
And I've interviewed a lot of people running for the House. So we're going to have to watch and see what happens on that.
Well, the House is where they can impeach them to begin with.
It's funny.
So that's
funny
important.
that you say that, because I'm sorry, Joe. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Greg Stenstrom, when he talked about what during the 2020 election, when it was obviously stolen, especially in Pennsylvania, where he and Lee really concentrated on, he said on those mail-in ballots, he went out and talked to some people and said, well, did you vote? And they said, that's not mine. That's not me. You know, and
this happened all over the United States.
This is what people are out there who are saying this never happened.
They went to court, you remember, everybody, nobody has standing. Well, nobody in the world has standing, then how can you prove it? Now, I didn't hear what happened in Georgia, but a big announcement happened in Georgia. I know one's coming out in Arizona, and I'm sure one's going to come out in Pennsylvania. We don't hear about all these things but I do get a copy from the RNC of all these lawsuits that are happening. So that's the good news. We're getting that communication, because if we would have had better communication, because you're not going to be able to hear of all the things in all the states. We only hear about a couple of states. What about Wisconsin? What about, North Dakota? What about South Dakota? We don't hear all the stuff. We've got to get this information out, because if you think that it's just happening in some states, they're doing this
everywhere in every county.
And in Mississippi, they just had a big lawsuit in Mississippi. So it's happening all over. So I'll field a couple more questions, and you can hear them running out of voice.
I can hear that. So as a poll watcher or as a poll worker, I'm sitting there and I'm watching people come in and vote as a poll watcher. I could be suspicious of something going on. I could be suspicious of somebody not being able to vote, or they're illegally voting, or they're here illegally. But how do I have that proof? I mean, that's who am I telling that's going to be able to verify that?
You are trained who to call. They tell you in each state, each precinct, who you will talk to. Matter of fact, I had some information. I don't have it with me, but I said, if there's a problem, what do I do? And they gave me a card. To call the director of elections. So in our county, they do that. Now, I don't know every county, but this is, there's so many precincts in so many counties that it's mind-boggling to be able to do this. And that's why the RNC has all these attorneys, because the attorneys in each precinct or each county, when they start to do this counting, are going to be there. You know what I mean?
Good.
And those are some good questions. So I'll field one more question, because
Go.
I've got.
Yep. And when I know you're running short of time, Jim, if you don't have one, I just have. All I have. If you go on, Jim, if you got a question.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yep. My only thing is this: give our listeners some hope and tell them how they can help again. Is Trump going to win this? Is he going to win this?
Well, let's put it this way: he's going to win the vote, but is he going to win the vote? So that's a strange thing.
Well, maybe
so that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
One quick thing too to add to that.
You know, he
ahead,
did that thing at Madison Square Garden last night, which
oh
was
my God,
sensational. He had the greatest speakers that you've ever listened to.
Correct.
Backing him. Come on, look. If the people are that stupid to vote for somebody who has no leadership, who got no votes,
yep,
you know, who they put
was
in
installed.
there, they all deserve what they're going to get.
But but we pay for it too. That's the problem.
Yeah, we all
That's where
see high gas prices. I mean, everything is so ridiculous. High food prices. I mean,
Correct.
people are going to vote with their wallets here, and if they don't, then they deserve what they get. And certainly, you know, it's going to happen exactly. So there's no question that that Trump is surging at the right time, and that you don't even hear from Camilla. However. So that's anyway. It's a pleasure being here. Action.
Thank you very much.
Action is right.
We'll definitely come back another time.
Please do.
Thank you for the work you do.
Thank you for the work. Yeah, the work you keep doing. That is sstern1054@gmail.com. Get a hold of him. He'll show you everything you need to know to get involved. There it is. And then of course flag shirt. Yep.
I don't
get a flag shirt.
But we're the largest patriotic website in the world. Go to theflagshirt.com. You're going to see some of the most amazing stuff. We just got in tons of new hats, tons of new shirts. Of course, I always wear this. This is our first shirt we ever did, but there's tons of stuff back there. We got umbrellas, shoes, socks. Socks are running like crazy because people I do. We have ladies' shawls. They love it. They go. I've seen at the convention site yesterday tons and tons of people wearing a shirt. So thanks again.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for all you do. We look forward to talking to you soon.
God bless.
All right. See you soon. Jim, you got him? Yeah, we'll get him. Thank you, Steve. That was boy, the guy literally, he's busier than hell. So
he has more energy than I have, and he's 30 years older than I am.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, he's got so much energy. I mean, he literally is putting in the work, guys, and doing the fight. So please go to sstern1054@gmail.com. Again, the election integrity calls happen every Wednesday, 1:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get involved there. He does have General Flynn. He's had Steve Bannon on again. I'm so glad he's getting out of jail tomorrow. Unfairly, unjustly imprisoned, of course.
They're trying to do the same thing to Rudy Giuliani, and
they
Rudy
are
not backing down.
He is not. He is not, folks. So Steve, thank you again for coming on. Greg Stenstrom, a special shout out to him for hooking us up with Steve and getting involved. If you don't know who Greg is, he's been on the show. Go to some past episodes. You could see Greg on there, who won a lawsuit in Pennsylvania on election fraud. Of course, the news isn't telling you about that.
But you hear a lot about Catherine Engelbrecht, Through the Vote, Sidney Powell, and all that stuff first came on. But Greg and Leah were the ones that were doing it specifically for Pennsylvania to do the audit that could prove the election.
Absolutely.
Remember, because Greg said it takes years to do electronic auditing to see what happened. But so they're two of the lesser knowns, if you will. But man, they've had the biggest success.
They sure have. And Catherine, of course, was an integral part of 2000 Mules, Dinesh D'Souza's documentary on election fraud, which absolutely proved that fraud happened. So Jim, let's hear from the Trump token. Let's do this. Let's get in this sponsor real quick, and then
I have a question for you that I want to ask when we get back. So
okay, sounds good.
Ready?
Yep.
America faces challenges like never before. Economic uncertainty, social unrest, debt implosion. The foundations of our freedom are under attack. To restore strength, prosperity, and the American way of life, Trump must win.
I plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world.
Introducing the Trump token, blending the deflationary model of Bitcoin with the technological advancement of Solana. It's more than just a cryptocurrency. It's America's future medium of exchange. The Trump token pledges to donate 50% of proceeds, up to $50 million, to Trump's 2024 re-election campaign. Join the movement. Stand with Trump. Secure your future at thetrumptoken.com.
One more.
Introducing
please. Yeah.
the Trump token, America's cryptocurrency, a digital revolution to make America great again. Built on the high-performance Solana blockchain, the Trump token merges the economic principles of Bitcoin with the speed, scalability, and efficiency of modern technology. Designed to empower politically engaged communities, the Trump token taps into three major demand ecosystems: the Trump community, global cryptocurrency enthusiasts, and the internationally recognized Trump brand. In a world of financial uncertainty, the Trump token stands as a scarce and durable digital asset, positioned for growth within a rapidly expanding global market. Powered by Solana, the Trump token offers lightning-fast transactions, unparalleled scalability, and robust security, making it the ideal currency for both everyday use and political engagement. With a total supply capped at 21 million Trump tokens, 10 million are available for pre-sale at just $10 per token. In a powerful show of support, 50% of all pre-sale proceeds will be donated to Donald J. Trump's 2024 presidential campaign via super PACs. That's right, up to $50 million of crypto in kind will be donated to ensure Trump wins. On top of the donation, 40% free additional Trump tokens will be distributed over 36 months to all pre-sale participants who hold. Check out our official white paper for more. Driven by a decentralized governance model, the Trump token empowers its community to shape its future, ensuring the token remains aligned with the values of its supporters. Together, let's make America great again. Go to thetrumptoken.com to get involved. The Trump token. Own America's cryptocurrency now.
Is right. TrumpToken.com. Please go there and support it. Again, 50% will go towards his campaign. Still needs it. 8 days away. A lot going on. Jim, you wanted to ask me something once we got back from that break?
I wanted to ask Steve, but he was kind of in a hurry because he has folks.
He's got 5 other interviews going on.
We were the second interview today, and he's got more. So I want to ask
energy.
Because this question is, we're feeling more confident that he's winning the vote, correct? And I think most of us believe that it's going to happen. So let's say on election day, or 2 years after election day, or longer it takes Maricopa County to count. Sorry.
Yeah.
But when it's finally decided that he is president, between that time and Inauguration Day,
January 20th.
What do you think the left is going to do to not let this happen? That's what scares me. It's okay. They may let him win. Are they going to let him be president?
Thank you, Buckeye. Good morning, by the way. Are they? No. I mean, of course not. Of course they're not going to let him. That's such a hard call. So here's my thought.
Just everything they're going to do. I mean, what?
Well, what they are doing. I mean, their last ditch effort here before the election is obviously Trump's a Nazi. He wanted Nazi generals. You know, you got a disgruntled employee that was fired. That is, writing a book. Oddly enough, 10 days before the election. So this over the past weekend, he sexually assaulted another woman. I mean, it's the same old playbook. It doesn't matter because they know they're lying and they know it doesn't matter. They're trying desperately at anything. For instance, we can go right into this. His speech at Madison Square Garden yesterday, absolutely historic. Sold out, 20,000 inside, another 70,000 to 80,000 outside of Madison Square Garden. 4 years ago, you probably would have got shot if you wore a MAGA hat or a Trump shirt or anything in New York, right?
Did you see what Nick Bosa did last night, by the way?
I saw what Nick Bosa did. So by the way, at the end of the 49ers game, they were interviewing Brock Purdy, I think, weren't they? And but Nick Bosa came up and he flashed his "Make America Great Again" hat. Right. Oh boy, he gives no shits, and I like that about it.
In San Francisco, he played at Ohio State and all that
Well,
stuff.
yeah, that's right. I mean,
But yeah, that was
Mhm.
cool. I just
That was
anyway.
cool.
Sorry, Dale. Go.
Yeah, no, but that was cool. That's what I'm saying. So, and then it always makes me think those that are saying, yeah, I'm never voting for Trump. Do they actually vote for him once they go in there? That kind of thing. The fact
Yeah,
that
correct.
that CNN now is talking about him perhaps winning the popular vote.
Mhm.
That's how close it is absolutely insane.
Well, folks,
We know it. We feel it. We know 80% of America is not the believer of the far left agenda. We get that. But are they really going to have the balls to go in and vote for Trump or vote against Kamala?
Look at all the polls, including ABC, NBC, CBS,
Sure.
CNN,
Mhm.
all of this. Take a look at all the polls.
Yep.
When they ask the question, who would handle the economy and the border better? Trump wins by a landslide. On these networks. On these networks. Folks, these are the two largest issues going on in this country right now.
The state of America right now. What is
so
79%? It's going in the wrong direction.
So how in the heck do they want us to believe?
Because they have to have a way. They have to have a way to
Yes.
justify that. We told you it was close once Maricopa County, enters their 1 million illegal votes. Once Delaware County or wherever enters that, up in Green Bay, wherever they're doing it in Missouri. I mean, folks, it's happening in places where it didn't happen last time as well. So when you heard Steve talk about Detroit, how important that is, right? Go on. I'm sorry, Jim.
Well, that's okay. Make no mistake that the numbers are important.
Yeah.
When cities and states are telling you counting is not going to be done in 10 to 13 days after the election, there's a reason for that.
Correct.
There is a reason. They need to know how many votes they have to get. And I know people out there going, "Oh my God, you conspiracy theory? Seriously?"
Yep. Conspiracy.
I mean, we now have polls out there that show that most Americans do believe that there was actual cheating that happened during the 2020 election.
Correct.
Everything that is presented and everything else. So
the bullshit, it wasn't widespread. It's widespread. We know that.
Newsweek, folks, if you've seen this, this was my favorite one. Dale and I talked about this before the show started. Newsweek says Trump's rallies average 6,400.
Oh yeah.
And Kamala Harris's average 13,600.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, numbers.
First off, we've seen some of the rallies that Kamala has done. They have to bus people in just to get 40 people in here
and pretend a singer is going to sing there.
Exactly. That's the way. That's the only way she does it. Oh, Beyonce is going to sing. Okay. And then by the way, go out and look on X. Folks, I encourage you to go out and look on X and watch all the people that left after Beyonce left.
Oh, I know. They were piling out of there. Once she didn't
go back
sing.
To when, who is it? Megan the Stallion? What's her name?
Who knows?
Whatever that thing is, or Stallion, whatever.
Yeah.
But Cardi B, Stallion, me, I don't know. But anyway,
some twerking whores. I don't know.
After she was done, they left.
Yeah.
I mean, they leave. President Trump, they're there to see him. Yeah,
that's it. They don't have to bus people into Trump rallies.
Nope.
They don't have to, hey, I'm going to have, a singer here. We're going to have a free concert, which never turns out to be a concert. And they don't have to do that. And, you want to tell me 100,000 at Madison Square Garden yesterday.
Have you ever shown, have they ever shown a Kamala Harris rally where you're full, you can't have them anymore? So they have to keep them back, and they're fine with it.
No, they usually downgrade the venue because they're not getting enough.
They don't get people. They never show the outside.
Yep.
They never show. Of course, they don't show the outside of Trump either, but they never show the outside.
Yeah.
Folks, they are scared, and they are not scared because, and if you guys want to, I can give you the proper definition of what fascism is, by the way.
Well, yeah, let's get in that in a minute. I got a couple of videos.
Okay.
I want to play
anyway, so we'll get it. But that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
That's their only hope. And by the way, it's not working.
Yep, correct.
It's only making them look like complete total idiots. When you have survivor of the Holocaust coming out to Kamala Harris and saying, let me tell you what fascism is.
Correct.
And it's stuff, and they're just so stupid.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So, folks, we all know we had the rally. We've got a couple highlights of that we're going to play for you. But I want to start off with this because, of course, every network was showing it. And of course, every network has their twist on how they're showing it and what they're showing and when they cut away and all that. But MSNBC, I think, takes the cake here. These people should be their license should be removed from journalism. The network should be shut down completely because of this rhetoric. Of course, they have gone.
And it could happen. There is outcry beyond outcry right now about this.
There is. So here's how MSNBC portrayed the historic event at Madison Square Garden yesterday, where Donald Trump, amongst so many others, spoke, and so many supporters showed up. This is what MSNBC had to say. Ooh, folks.
Jamboree happening right now. You see it there on your screen. In that place is particularly chilling because in 1939, more than 20,000 supporters of a different fascist leader, Adolf Hitler, packed the garden for a so-called pro-America rally, a rally where speakers voiced anti-Semitic rhetoric from a stage draped with Nazi banners. When a Jewish protester rushed the stage, the Associated Press reported, quote, instantly, a dozen or more stormtroopers set upon him, knocking him down and beating him as he held his head in his arms. Most of his clothing was torn from his body. Later, he was booked for disorderly conduct. Now, against that backdrop of history, Donald Trump, the man who has threatened to use the military against opponents he calls enemies from within, who has threatened to use the troops to quell what he says are lawless cities, and to use those troops to carry out mass deportations of immigrants, is once again turning Madison Square Garden into a staging ground for extremism.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they
folks,
wonder. I know I'm not done yet, Jim. They wonder, okay, why there's so much divisiveness in this country. They question, his loyalty to this country and his patriotism and his American. There's only been 10,000, 30,000, 100,000 events since 1939 in Madison Square Garden. And that's what MSNBC portrays is the comparison to what happened back prior to World War II for the United States starting, was a Nazi rally. And then they'll sit there and, geez, why are we so divisive? When has President for the love of God, we have history of him being president and he did none of this shit.
None of this.
Those people and that reporter should be fired. They should close the network down, shut it down immediately, and they should be fined and they should be tried for treason on this. I am not one for not free speech. Say what you want to say. Of course, you're allowed to say what you want to say. I understand that the networks are biased and all that, but this is beyond biasness at this point. This is absolutely detrimental to his health. He's twice tried to be assassinated because of this kind of bullshit. I'm sick of it.
Did you ever hear him say he is going to sick the military on his enemies?
Nobody.
Who is he gonna have the military help get out of here?
Yeah.
The gangs of illegals that are in here. I've never heard him say, I'm going to use the military to go after Nancy Pelosi and pound through her front doors. They are saying that. They are saying that. Now, President Trump, when asked, are you going to go after your enemies? He says, if they broke the law, I will review. But I'm going to be too busy. I'm going to be too busy fixing what they've done. I'm not going to have time to do that. Okay.
Not going to have time.
The only thing he's ever referenced the military on is getting the illegals out of here, especially the gangs.
In assistance with the Border Patrol and ICE and local law enforcement. All he's done is said, I'm going to use and enforce the laws that we have in this country. I think it's obvious. We all know the game they're playing. Now, thank God 3 people only watch MSNBC. But the point is that this is the kind of crap that gets assassination attempts against them. This is unbelievable to me.
This is what tells me that this election, when Trump wins, after the count's done,
it's going to be.
It's not over.
It's not over. Oh, no.
Yeah, they're going to say, well, he did January 6th, so here's what we're going to do. Folks, we all know January 6th, what it was, right?
Sure
we
we
all
do.
know
Setup.
who instigated it. We all know who started it. Yes, there were some people who fell for it and charged. That was
that's what their
unfortunate.
plan was, and of course they knew
Exactly.
people would.
And so just imagine what they're going to do. I just picture what the AOCs of the world, and because you're going to show a video here, or the Hillary Clintons, or
This
all of
is a
these
good
individuals.
point.
What are they going to do
Mhm.
when President Trump wins this next election?
Exactly.
They're not going to let it happen. They will not let him take that seat.
That's right. The Pentagon, they just approved that they can use force against our citizens. That's right. So that and also that from you. Yes, the Democrats did that. They can use against American citizens if they don't like your political views, your rhetoric, your speech. Yeah, they have a duty to the truth. Sure do.
Dale and I it was before we came on this network. Dale and I read the oath of a journalist.
Yeah, we did. Journalistic oath. Unbelievable.
Truth was in there.
Yeah, the word truth was in there.
Honesty, I believe, was in there.
Yeah.
Folks.
Getting a big payday wasn't in there. But here's what AOC had to say. So speaking of that, so everybody wants to hear AOC, but as her district is just overrun with drugs and whores and prostitutes and homelessness and all that. Thank God she has something to say about it. Here it is.
This was a hate rally. This was not just a presidential rally. This was also not just a campaign rally. I think it's very important for people to understand that these are mini January 6th rallies.
I got to stop it right there.
Is she doing an insurrection? Isn't this an insurrection here?
This is what this is.
Yeah.
It's lies. All of the misinformation they want to throw conservatives in jail for. Steve Bannon went to jail. And this thing is allowed to speak. So let's finish.
These are mini Stop the Steal rallies. These are rallies to.
Yes.
We are Stop the Steal.
Yeah, we're stopping the steal, dummy.
AOC said something correct.
Yeah, she said something correct. Why, where I paused it, does that just seem like the look she always has on her face? If you're not watching, I don't know why you're not. But anyways.
Prime an electorate into rejecting the results of an election if it doesn't go the way that they want, because Donald Trump and that entire cadre of people up on that stage, Stephen Miller, etc.,
JD Vance,
Vivek
Ramaswamy, Tucker Carlson, these people
do not respect the law of the United States of America.
So what laws did they break, bitch? Excuse my language. I can't think of another term for her.
And they either want to win this election or they are using rhetoric of.
They either want to win this election
or they're using rhetoric. Who's using rhetoric? This whole thing so far has been rhetoric.
Does your side not want to win? Obviously, because look who you installed as your candidate. And then they,
wow.
They obviously want to win this election, or you think they want to win the election? Stupid.
Taking it by force. That is what they mean, and that's what they're doing when they are inciting violence and hatred against Latinos, against Black Americans, against Americans who don't have children, against you have JD Vance literally talking about watering down.
Okay. We talked about this. Folks, remember how she said Latinos?
Yeah.
Black? Look at who's in the audience at this rally.
Quite the Nazi rally.
There are Muslims in there. There are
Muslims?
Christians in there. There are Jewish people in there. There are Blacks. There are Hispanics in this arena. It's not just white people, folks. It's not. There are.
Well, it was the most diverse Nazi rally I've ever seen in my entire life. That's all I can say. It plays.
People's right to vote, depending on if they can viably carry a child or not. We have to understand how unhinged this campaign has gotten. And the only reason that the rhetoric has gotten this far is precisely because they are trying to prime the kind of froth that led up to the January 6th attack on the Capitol. And so it's very important that we connect those dots. And right now, the campaign is scrambling and they're trying.
those two are staring at her like, what are you talking about? Like, are you still talking?
Or they're like going, yeah, we just got those memos too.
We just did too. Yeah, we say the same thing.
President Trump is talking about how he's going to fix all that has gone wrong, and you guys have now gone to attacking, saying he's a fascist and everything else because you have nothing else to stand on.
Well, it's only because they want to win the election. I mean, that's why they're in it to win it. I mean, how dare they? There's more. Can I take it off now? I don't want to.
Yes,
she disgusts me. She disgusts me.
But
I used to think, hey, she's kind of pretty, but not anymore.
Remember what I told you?
Yeah.
When you just look at her, she looks really good looking. But then when she starts talking, you put a picture of Nancy Pelosi up there, and that's what.
Or like a donkey. Like she's just like. But she's like the donkey in Shrek to me.
After we're done talking about this, I want to end with something that was done in the 60s.
Well, I'm done with those two videos and all that. Not with the rally. I got a couple rally things,
but the fascist thing. You want me to play that one?
Yeah, do it now.
Okay, this was a message to communisms within the Democrat Party. Okay, so this was back in the 60s. Pay attention to what they say. I hope you can hear it. I hope it's loud enough, but just listen to this.
1943, the following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, when certain obstructionists
party headquarters, this was the Democrat Party. I just want to make sure you understand.
Become too irritating, label them after suitable buildups as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic, and use the prestige of anti-fascist and tolerance organizations to discredit them. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind.
Does that sound familiar now?
Yeah.
Folks, that is actually from, that was the message to the Democrats back in the 60s, folks. They are telling their people, this is how you do it. And they are following it verbatim. Right down the line.
Yeah. What's the definition of fascist? The true definition
of fascist. Webster, do not look up Google's definition of
Wikipedia.
Folks.
Yeah, Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Lefty,
sorry. Google
whatever
too.
The definition is. Yeah.
Google and Wikipedia. It's a right wing. Listen to this. The right definition.
Wing. You mean left wing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, I hear what you're saying.
It's a populist political philosophy, movement, or regime, such as that of the fascisti, that exalts nations and often race above the individual. That is associated with a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, and that is characterized by severe economic and social regimentation and by forcible suppression of the opposition.
Correct. Gee, that sounds like
they're trying to put him in jail.
Party. Yeah.
President Trump is not putting race above country.
Correct.
He is not doing that. He is putting country above everyone. He is not a dictator. He is not planning on running all this. And he is not oppressing his enemies. Who is oppressing who? I mean, you have Hillary Clinton and John Kerry going out there on, the webs, all these MSNBCs and the CNNs, and they sit there and say, we need to silence Elon Musk. Misinformation needs to be punished. No, our truth that we tell needs to be punished.
Correct.
Where is the fascism at, folks? It's not coming from our side.
Ever.
And again, if you go out and look at Google, it starts with right wing.
It does. If you
go out to Wikipedia,
it's a right wing. Wikipedia, right wing.
Webster's dictionary, which is what we used to use. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that until anybody in the world could go ahead and post what they want on Wikipedia. So that didn't matter. Let's get to a couple highlights. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's hear from Lock and Load, right? I want to hear from Lock and Load. I need to pick me up. So it's Lock and Load Coffee. Let's hear from them, and then we will be right back. Jim, is it on there? There it is.
When ordinary coffee won't cut it, reach for Lock and Load Coffee, the brew that means business. Crafted for those who demand more from their cup, Lock and Load delivers intense flavor, serious energy, and a sense of patriotism. Whether you're hitting the gym, the job, or the battlefield of life, Lock and Load Coffee keeps you sharp and ready to go. Fuel your drive, stay unstoppable, and support an American-first brand. Lock and Load Coffee. Ignite your day and conquer your mission. Do yourself a favor and order now at lockandloadcoffee.com.
Loadcoffee.com, folks. Go get it. It's the only thing that keeps me awake anymore. Is Lock and Load Coffee. All day long. So go lockandloadcoffee.com. Go there. Use coupon code 2guys. Get 10% off your order. Join their coffee club too. Specials on that. Reoccurring shipments. Never run out. Veteran supported. American owned and operated. Great people. Lockandloadcoffee.com. Thank you, Buckeye, for putting that up there as always. Huh?
I am drinking PPK, which is a medium roast. It is phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, you don't like the bold, huh? You like the medium stuff.
Yeah, I like the medium. I
got to get the high.
I have a bold.
Yeah.
And I'll try that when I'm done with my medium.
Yeah.
Plus, by the way, Rich and Sharon, I'm going to be placing another order here pretty soon. So,
oh boy! Don't forget to use coupon code 2guys, Jim.
I do. I use code 2guys.
Yep, always.
Even though I think they know me.
I think they do, but still, I don't know. You might be easily forgettable. I don't think so. I don't.
Well,
think so,
I am completely forgettable. Everyone forget. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's Jim. And when we're on the show together, it's always there's Jim. Yeah,
there's Jim. Sure, that's what everyone's saying. That's what everyone's saying. Sure, they are. I want to get a couple more videos in here. Let's see. Let's get a couple from the actual rally. Trump announced a new policy yesterday. This is real quick, but you already know no tax on tips. No tax on Social Security,
overtime.
No tax on overtime. Talking about now the income tax. That would be amazing if there was a fair tax at a minimum implemented. If you don't know about fair tax, look that up. But that's an absolutely, I think, great tax to have if you're going to have taxes. Personally, I don't want any income tax, but that's a great one. But here's a new one. Here's a new one he added, and this is pretty good. Well, anyways, here's a new one he added. So in about 3 days, Kamala will come out and say she's going to add it. But here it is.
Announcing a new policy today that I will support a tax credit for family caregivers who take care of a parent or a loved one. It's about time that they were recognized, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's true.
They add so much to our country and are never spoken of, ever, but they're going to be spoken of now. Thank you all very much. I'll also make...
Yeah, that's something that you don't think about.
And folks, when President Trump says it...
Yeah, he means
it. Because
it's going to
he's going to pass it.
It's going to happen.
Kamala Harris has never heard of a tax cut.
Yeah.
And she won't.
And she will not. Yeah. Read my lips. No new taxes. Let's see. Do I have something else from so here's I think some more Donald Trump. Let's get that in here real quick.
We're just not running against Kamala. I think a lot of our politicians here tonight know this. She means nothing. She's purely a vessel. That's all she is. When you see her up there talking about the grass on my front lawn, I grew up in a middle-class neighborhood, and I had grass on my front lawn.
Hand to heart.
Yeah, but we're asking, what would you do to fix the country? And why didn't you do it yet? Almost 4 years. Why didn't you do this stuff? Now she's becoming more MAGA than those politicians I just told you about from the different states. She can't put two sentences together. She's just like, she's really just like, in many ways, crooked Joe Biden. And she never said to us, she never told us that Joe was not functioning properly. She should have. Because, we're talking about the life of the most important country in the world. We need very smart people. We're running against something far bigger than Joe or Kamala, and far more powerful than them, which is a massive, vicious, crooked, radical left machine that runs today's Democrat Party. They're just vessels. In fact, they're perfect vessels because they'll never give them a hard time. They'll do whatever they want.
Yeah, it's true.
I know many of them. It's just this amorphous group of people. But they're smart and they're vicious. And we have to defeat them. And when I say the enemy from within, the other side goes crazy. Becomes a sound. Oh, how can he say? No, they've done very bad things to this country. They are indeed the enemy from within. But this is who we're fighting. These are the people who are doing such harm to our country with their open border policies, record-setting inflation, green news scam, and everything else that they're doing. But we're not going to let it happen any longer. We're going to have the biggest victory in the history of our country on November 5th. It's going to be the biggest victory in history.
It's true. Absolutely true. I love when he called it the green news scam. Yes, we saw that she went into the barbershop.
Did
that
you
was
see the
awkward.
looks on their faces?
Yeah.
They didn't look too thrilled to have her there.
No, of course not. Of course. Yes, we saw that. That was incredible. A couple more rally videos. I want to hear from this is JD Vance. So let's hear from JD. Impressive every time I hear him, to be honest with you. And Jim, I didn't have his interview with Jake Tapper. I didn't have a lot of that. Boy, I'll tell you what, did he give Jake? Boy, he put him right in his place. You know, Jake Tapper is no match for JD Vance. So,
Bill Barr was no match for Megyn Kelly.
Yep.
Our side completely
no liberal
eviscerated
is any match
the left
for any conservative
this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They completely destroyed them.
Yep, they foobarred up, man. The Dems, they're flailing. They're
See,
absolutely
our
flailing. That's
candidates
why
are not-
MSNBC has to say it was a Nazi rally. Mm-hmm.
Our candidates are not Kamala.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They come prepared.
Our people are not Tim Walz.
They don't need a teleprompter.
Yep,
they're going to tell you because
our commentators aren't Jake Tapper. Right. They're going to know. So here's JD.
CNN asked if she had made any mistakes as vice president. Now, here's what she actually said, and I am quoting word for word. She said, in my role as vice president, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important.
In my role as vice president, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question. Now, I have no idea what any of that means, and frankly, neither do any of you. None of us know what the hell she says. Now, she may not be able to name any of her mistakes, but the American people.
What's going on?
It locked up here. I'm going to remove it. Okay, there we go.
I locked up?
Yeah. I can hear you, but you're locked up.
You can't see me?
No. I actually have the interview, though, where she talked about her mistakes, if you want me to play it from CNN.
Yeah, go ahead.
A little bit more of a broader thing. And so, she's very intelligent, folks.
She is.
Anything you can point to in your life, political life, or in your life in the last 4 years that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
I've made many mistakes, and they range from, if you've ever parented a child, you make lots of mistakes too. In my role as vice president, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
Yet she never does. So
I don't know if I'm back or not. I'm getting crap.
You're back,
Rich.
You're back. Now Rich is
giving
God
you shit. Move.
But this is what she does. There's nothing solid to her. And when all you sit there and you watch CNN and MSNBC and they talk about how wonderful she was, how great she did. That interview on Brett Baer. They were bragging about how great she did. She went on the enemy station and she just knocked it out of the park. What? No, she didn't.
No, she didn't.
Brett Baer actually did a good job.
Yeah.
Of interviewing her, and she was stuck, and he was not letting her do what these other ones do. No, you didn't answer the question. What are you gonna do? And she was made to look like a fool. So
we've got like a bunch of other videos. I guess I'll just skip. I mean, I really wanted to
I want to play one video.
No, you can. I mean,
because
you can play
and we can play it here because we have to play the healing therapy video. But I want to play this, folks. I know another Ronald Reagan, but it is, and I think it's very important to listen to this guy. This was way back, folks. I mean, this was not 10 days ago, obviously. This was not.
Well,
this was back when he was power. Okay, when he was the one, just like President Trump was in 2016. This is America.
Yep.
Okay, you want America's help? This is what you're going to do, and this and exactly what Reagan did. So, folks, listen to this.
My fellow Americans, it looks like some things have changed. Are we doing a good enough job teaching our children what America is and what she represents?
You want an abortion? Get one!
Younger parents aren't sure that an appreciation of America is the right thing to teach modern children.
We're not going to make America great again. It was never that great.
When I drive into a neighborhood and there are American flags, it's a message of white supremacy.
I'm warning of an eradication of the American memory that could result in an erosion of the American spirit.
We need to completely dismantle the police department.
If we forget what we did, we won't know who we are. We've got to do a better job of getting across that America is freedom, and freedom is special and rare. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of enterprise. As long as we remember our first principle and believe in ourselves, the future will always be ours. Ours was the first revolution in the history of mankind that truly reversed the course of government, and with three little words: we the people. We the people are free. Once you begin a great movement, there's no telling where it'll end.
That's impressive, Jim.
I mean, just the guy.
That's impressive,
folks. And I encourage you,
that was incredible.
If you end up listening to this later, please go and watch that. Watch the whole show. You got to, because I mean, our beautiful faces light up every day.
Why would my frozen face?
But the time? I'm telling you, you've got to watch that video, because at the beginning it shows you the people who are causing the problems. They show you the little girl twerking that was being taught how to twerk. They show these cross dressers in the schools and
burning
it's just,
of the vehicles.
Ilhan Omar, who and then the one that really bothers me more than anything is, I can't remember her name, but she's on The View. Chani Holston, that's her. When she says, "When I go down and see flags along the sides, I think white supremacy." Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Which is why, folks, you never see American flag at a Kamala Harris rally. But yet we are a threat to America. Anyway, I just felt that was important. Anytime you hear Ronald Reagan, it's important.
It is. Let me put this up there. Everyone knows she is not qualified to be president. The media keeps pushing to hate Trump, and the people listen. They're not voting for Harris. They're voting against Trump. You are correct, Rich at Grit Gear. Absolutely. That is 100% true. Do you want to end on a somewhat lighter note, Jim?
Yeah.
And then we can play, before we go, I know we got to play the healing therapy stuff, but let's, it's been a minute since we've done this. You hear that? Good music. It's been a minute. Dude. It's been a minute. So this happened at a rally. I think this was might have been North Carolina or Pennsylvania. I'm not quite sure, but one of the tolerant left, mentally stable trans folks came across conservative students who had a booth set up and all that. This is what occurred.
Hey!
It's tomato juice.
Wait, we're gonna sing your fucking signs that are telling lies to people?
Language, by the way.
I'm so sorry. God! Still can't change the agenda. You fucking tried to talk to you, assholes. I just tried to talk to you.
It's a daisy.
I think we're good.
Look at this. You seen the right do this? Anybody on the right do this? Destruction of property. And then watch.
Hello.
There he is.
Could you please not do that?
Why?
Because this is our stuff.
Can you please not do this?
We are allowed to table here. We actually have a permit.
Yeah?
Yeah, we do.
I'm not touching you. I'm grabbing your phone.
Well, that's yeah, you can't touch his phone.
I'm not touching your phone. I'm covering
Nice
the camera.
You're
not touching. Why are you here?
Because we have a right to be here.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Because I have a right to be here. Kids.
Okay, so why are you damaging our stuff?
Well, listen to the very end here. You'll know.
Behold the tolerant left.
Behold the tolerant
Who,
left.
I say it again, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the fascists and who are the threat to democracy?
That's Kamala's America right there.
And just
that's
to add to this, folks, I don't know if anybody saw this, but go out to Breitbart because it was going to be one of my stories, but we didn't have time to do it today. But folks, go out. There was a tax-funded doctor study on puberty blockers on trans kids, but they're not releasing it and they're hiding the results. Because
till after the election,
the issues that the kids were having before they started taking them still continued after they were taking them.
Gee, shocking news.
Just like climate change, the data that shows that it's not happening is being left out. We're having this with trans movements, with puberty blockers for children. Oh, we didn't get the results we wanted. Yep. Maybe there's something mentally wrong with these kids that we have to look at, not that they want to be the opposite sex.
Correct.
Folks, Breitbart, go look.
Go
it's
look
out
up.
there. Maybe if we have time on Wednesday, we'll do.
Well,
are we going to tell what's going on?
Tell
Wednesday?
who's going to be on the show Wednesday. Now,
folks,
for you 80s music fans,
you have got to tune in
huge.
Because Peter Wolf from the Jay Giles Band is
Lead
going
singer.
to be here to talk about his new song, You Can't Donald the Trump.
Which featured John Schneider singing it.
Featuring John Schneider. And him and his wife are going to be on the show. I am excited because, guys,
Jim's
if you're
downright giddy.
If you're an 80s music fan, we all know the Jay Giles Band. Come on.
Of course you do. Centerfold, Love
Freeze
Stinks.
Frame.
We know them all.
I mean, it's going to be exciting. But please note, the first couple questions have to be about his current song.
Yeah.
And then we can break into the 80s.
Then all hell breaks
loose. But to watch, to show, and talk to your friends, tell your friends, especially those, because come on, who doesn't? We were 80s people. Who doesn't like the 80s? I mean, the 80s were great. The music was great.
Reagan,
weird.
the president, was great.
Reagan was president.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep. It
So,
was good
but
times.
really excited to have Peter Wolf on. I'm just it's pretty cool. So,
and then all that AIDS thing came in. just right. It kind of messed it up. Again, for all I know, government plan. Pandemic.
Some of the
would it
conspiracy
shock
theorists.
Yep. Would it shock you? Let's hear from this last sponsor. We will be right back. Miracle Healing Therapy. It's something new for us. This is a corporate sponsor, and we're glad to bring them to you. Jim, you playing it, or you want me to?
Here we go.
As we age, we lose a bit of energy. Of course, that's not our fault. Our bodies change as we grow. Healing patches rejuvenate your cells and in the skin play a key role in the aging process. Research has found that as we age, the number and function of these cells decline, which can lead to a decrease in skin elasticity and the development of wrinkles. But what if there was a product that could restore that spunk for more than just our skin? There is, and it does. The product draws out other huge benefits such as more energy, better sleep, reduced stress, and pain management. If you would like more information, please go to miraclehealingtherapy.com. That's miraclehealingtherapy.com. Here's that website address once again, miraclehealingtherapy.com.
That's interesting. It's an interesting product.
Miraclehealingtherapy.com. Go check it out, folks. Just go check it out. And it's very cool. It's
I'm
very
not
cool
so sure Steve Stern needs it. But
as we discussed when I first played this, Rich was on with me, and he didn't need it. He's got his dark beard.
I know he's like all chiseled and good looking, and and then you and I are wrinkly.
72. He looks 46. I mean, it's just, he doesn't need that.
It's just not freaking fair.
I do need it.
Yeah, you do need it.
Because I'm
you need it so many
guys
do.
I'm 36.
Right.
I have a 28-year-old son.
I mean, you look great and all, but your waist size isn't even 36. I know. I had to. It's been so long.
Always have to go.
I'm sorry. It's been so long, but you're looking buff. You are looking better, and I love it. Your arms are beefy.
I need Sharon to defend me because you hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I did. Folks, so listen. Exciting news. Yeah, Peter Wolf, his wife Leah, will be here Wednesday, 10:30 live on the Patriots Prayer Network on the Two Guys One Coup podcast. Stay tuned for that. I want to know all about how he got into this patriotic music. It's amazing. With age comes wisdom, and I think that happens to a lot of people. Obviously, the youth is generally confused, and basically their minds are sponges. And with age, you start learning that, holy crap, they're taking all my money out of taxes. And so I think that's kind of how that all,
and some of the songs he has written
naturally.
I mean, he has written songs for, as soon as, as early as In Sync.
In Sync. Yeah.
I mean, so he's been around.
He's been around. He's written. They just, the songs he's written actually, and for the groups he's written for and the artists is amazing. That's the behind the scenes stuff you don't know as much.
Right.
But it'll be very interesting, and we're glad to have him. We can't wait to talk about his new song that's featuring John Snyder, who's singing it. John Snyder, Dukes of Hazzard. I think everybody knows
just
that.
A good old boy.
Yep, that's right. So, folks, other than that, we thank you all for tuning in. We thank you all for your comments. Your contribution, your support. Please like, follow, and share. Go to the Patriots Prayer Network on Rumble. Please like that. Get notified when our show and all of our shows are on. That really, really does help you stay informed. As you heard Steve say, it's podcasts that are really the truth out there these days. We didn't even talk about Trump on Rogan. We just don't have the time, but holy smokes, what a great interview. 3 hours sat down with him, was late to his Michigan rally because of it. That's how dedicated he is. And Kamala is nowhere to be seen. He would destroy her. But Kamala, the invitation's open if you want to come on ours. We'll be very gentle with you.
Real quick, they talk about it. President Biden was in Delaware.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris was at a party with Beyonce. At her rally, and Israel was doing their thing. And so who's running this country?
Who's running the country?
Right?
Who's running the country? Obama.
The dictator himself.
Yep.
Right?
Barack
because
Hussein.
and I might go out and find it maybe for the next show, but there is a question when they asked him, what do you wish you would come back? And he goes, if I was going to come back, I would want to be in the background where nobody saw me, but I made decisions and then passed it on to the people.
That's exactly what's happening.
What's that?
And that's
like,
the thing.
folks?
Yeah, we got to get Biden's, Harris, Obama's. We got to get that whole regime. We're done with it. Like we are the Clintons. Done. Get rid of them. So, any more comments, Jim, before we say goodbye?
Thank you, but
thank
we are
you,
awesome.
Buckeye. Appreciate it. Always your support and your dedication to the show.
Did we play this
Everyone
one?
knows. Yeah, we did. Yeah, I already played that one.
All right.
Yeah, you weren't paying attention.
Did you play that one?
I did when I was frozen. Yeah, I may not have showed up, but I did.
I know. I just wanted to play it again.
You wanted to play it again? I hate Jim. For all of you that know, no, I hate Jim.
And don't
But I
forget
love
this
him
one.
in the same respect. Yep. Dale, for the love of God, move. We played that one.
I know.
Jim,
I want to play it again.
you are what
Anyway.
I'd call, what's the word I'm thinking? A dick. Anyways, folks, thank you for your support. We appreciate it. We appreciate you. Like, follow, and share on Rumble. Please go to the Patriots Per Network, www.thepatriotsper.com. You can see the list of our shows there. We need your support. Follow us on X. Follow our page, Two Guys, at Two Guys, One Coup podcast, or at Two Guys, One Coup, I think only on X is our X channel. Please go there. We got an Instagram. We got a Facebook. Join, jump in, talk to us. Get more of Dale and Jim, because who doesn't want more Dale and Jim? Besides our wife. But who doesn't want more Dale and Jim? So, folks, for your support and for everything you've done. We will be back here Wednesday. Thank you again for spending your Monday morning with us. We appreciate it. And we'll talk to you later. America, wake the hell up. We're going to need you. 8 days to go. See you Wednesday.